Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mangumson here, and I want to show you seasons in Diablo because I think that it's important for people to get more of a grasp on what's going on in Diablo world. Now, I'm going to bring up my PlayStation screen here to show you the amount of hours I've put in on just PlayStation alone for Diablo and for Destiny 2, just in case people think that I just hopped onto this bandwagon of playing games of hardcore or what have you, right? I've beaten Elden Ring. I played 1 minute of Cyberpunk, and that time isn't accurate for Cyberpunk, but anyway. So I want to show you some examples of seasonal characters, right? Because show is better than tell, right? Everyone's talking about seasons, this and that, how do they work and what's going to go on. As you can see by my little character named Zolan, when the character creator popped up a random generated name, it is Zolan. Now I have a total of, I want to say these are 12 characters, 12 eternal characters in the game. Now, why did I create so many characters? Is because I want to say it was years later that they ended up bringing in these things called loadouts, which I will show you later in the video. Now, if you look at the seasonal journey for the characters, they're not hard, right? These seasonal things are not hard, and you're going to want to replay the game in order to unlock these things. Level up the blacksmith, equip a gem here, go kill Belial, go reach level 50. These are all things that you're going to do while just naturally playing the campaign and playing the game and getting to the end game. Now, if you play on Torment level 2 in Diablo 4, you get to about around level 50 by just playing through the game. And I want to say that the game's totality to finish the campaign is a total of, I want to say it's supposed to be 30 hours, but if you cut out some things, I want to say it's about 16, right? Just double the length of Diablo 3. So beating Diablo 3, if you speed run it, if you were maximized that, you could probably beat the whole campaign in like an hour or two, but I was not that optimized. I've only put in, as you can see, 1,000 hours into the game, and I wasn't as efficient at finishing the campaign, so I finished it around 6 hours beating the whole campaign. But here are the things that you can unlock during the seasonal journey by completing these things. You unlock torso, legs, shoulders, pants, helms, and these are all just cosmetic flexes. You see the portrait frame here. Now Diablo's kind of really gotten rid of the portrait frame idea. You can see the pet that I was talking about in the last video. You want to unlock these pets because these things are cool and they will follow you around. They're an aesthetic to your character. Again, it goes back to the flex. Now, the rebirth system in Diablo 3, and it would move your seasonal character into the eternal realm and take all those items and put them into the stash area. So you can make male or female. You can start your hardcore, or you can start your normal character. You can start your seasonal character. You can start your seasonal hardcore character. Whichever one you want to pick from is completely up to you, right? So for the example in this video, I'm going to go with the Necromancer in order to start this seasonal journey. And I'm just going to play just a little tidbit of seasonal content. It's not a lot. It's the beginning part of the game. It's literally like 2-3 minutes of me playing through, and you see it participating in the season gives you the opportunity to reap the exclusive rewards. Seasonal characters start completely fresh and can only play with other seasonal characters. So Zolan is going to be created, and I'm going to end up starting the game. Now I get to pick which torment level that I want to start on, and these torment levels get quite large. Now, Diablo or Blizzard has never shied away from making the content harder and harder. As you can see, I think it goes all the way up to like torment level 16 or what have you. So the game itself gets harder, like the world gets harder, but then the dungeons that you do get harder. You've experienced that in Diablo 4 with doing the tier 21, tier 100 nightmare dungeons, and that's just the beginning because they just like to make things more difficult. They like to make the enemies more and more beefy because people's builds get out of control. So as you can see, I'm playing through this little area. This is just a little area I'm going to be playing through, so you see the XP bar is that orange little bar at the bottom of the screen, and it is leveling up. As I'm just only playing on expert, I could have probably played 1 tier higher in order to level up faster, and I already know where these enemies are going to come from and all that jazz. So I'm playing this, I'm playing the campaign to level up, get my character through it, and basically it gives me free XP. This free XP for playing the campaign because you're playing Diablo because you want to replay it again and get those flex items. You want to do the harder challenges with your character in order to get the things to say, hey, I started over and I beat Uber Lilith with only utilizing the blood build or the bone build, or only using ice shards, or only using hammer of the ancients. So you can end up getting these flexible items to bring into the eternal realm. Now here are the pets that I was talking about in the last video, and as you can see, the pets look kind of cool. They'll follow you around, they'll collect the gold, and you get banners and cosmetics and stuff like that. But that's probably in game going to be replaced with cosmetic stuff for your armor, for the transmogrification. That's probably going to be tombstones. That's going to be other little things in the game. So all the portrait stuff is in whatever. That's all going to be replaced with the extra little cosmetics they've added in Diablo 4. Now, when you see the seasonal challenges, you can see them in this list. Finish level 70 Nephilim Rifts, torment level 6, kill this guy without burning, kill this guy without getting hit by this mechanic, do this and do that. And that's where the challenge comes in, and that's what people are going to come back to the game for, is to bring in the character that they know in order to get those, the wings, the tombstones, the gauntlets, the legs, the pants. So why am I showing you this old ass game? Why am I showing you Diablo 3 for this whole little spiel? Is because this is the best representation of where the game is going to go and what some things that they've kind of changed, right? So this is the transmogrification lady, right? Transmogrification lady, and this lady was ruthless. She charged you a lot of money to make your weapons look like how you wanted, 50,000 gold a piece. And when you wanted to change it, it cost you that 50,000 gold every single time. So the new Diablo 4 players is you get the transmogrification for basically free, so that's great because that's what we wanted in D3. But in Diablo in Diablo 4, like I said, it comes to you for free, but in Diablo 3 you had to pay for that stuff, and that's on every single piece of gear, right? So now you can just go to a little wardrobe and just change over, and that includes the dyes. The dyes cost 1,000 piece for each little piece of gear that if I wanted to run an all red and black character, I'm going to have to pay for that out of pocket with in-game currency. And that was kind of like but what you guys really want in the game are these things called loadouts, right? So Diablo 3 had these things called loadouts. We had the Knights Cube, we had our passive abilities, we had all these other abilities that we have. And yes, this is my build overall, and the build I think works pretty good, and it was fun for me. But the loadout system, so we go to the little wardrobe and we have this area to where we can stash or keep multiple characters. So for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna bam, load one in there right there, and you're gonna see that the other character that I have, I'm gonna go into my skills, you're gonna see my skills, right? And I'm just gonna move some things around for the other character, and then bam, on my Firebird, I go back to my skills, look at them, and all my skills and stuff has changed. And this is what you guys want in D4, but we didn't have a refund cost for our skills in D3. You kind of just take it out and put it back in and move stuff around to see what worked for you. Now, with it having that cost, I don't know how loadouts are going to work in the future. Now, again, going back to the cosmetic items, we have a cosmetic bag that we'll probably get eventually in D4, and these things make your characters just look cool. You got these cosmetics from doing certain things in the game, reaching a certain torment level, unlocking them through playing the game, doing certain Nephilim Rifts, being there for seasonal content, having collabs with Overwatch, or having collabs with World of Warcraft, or other types of collaborations will end up bringing up other types of cosmetics into the game. And then you will be able to be like, hey, you bring this Mercy Wings in there, and it'll be like, yo, like I play Overwatch, so that's how you get that. So let's talk about set bonuses. Set bonuses haven't been introduced into the game yet, but set bonuses make things absolutely bananas. And combining multiple set pieces at 2, 4, and 6 will grant you numerous amounts of skills, and sometimes you don't want every single set bonus from there. So you have 2 on the gloves, 2 on the legs, 1 on the gloves, 1 on the legs, 1 on the helm, 1 on the ring. Some come with a weapon, some come with an offhand weapon, and combining and mixing up these different set things in enabled you to do these crazy things in the game that you couldn't normally do, like using rain of arrows, and every rain of arrows left behind a poison trap, and then those poison traps would ensnare an enemy. Then that ensnared enemy will be slowed and frozen, and after that enemy was frozen, it would shatter and then create more traps, and then those traps that explode will reduce the cooldown reduction of your rain of arrows, so you can repeat this process again. The things like that get crazy. Now I have a rogue, but I ain't really played a rogue like that, so I don't know if anything like that could happen in the game that's that crazy. But you're gonna see in this gameplay of my higher tier rift of the things that I do end up combining together to make things crazy. So my build looks a little bit wonky, so I'm gonna up the torment level to torment level 12 so that you can see how tanky I am in these greater rifts, right? You have Nephilim rifts, you have greater rifts, and they scale up to and below your certain level. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose make sure my difficulty and stuff is correct, and I'm gonna choose, I want to say torment level 57, 55, right? So that's torment greater rift 55, but torment level 12, right? So let's get into the rift now. So with going into this rift, everything looks a bit different, everything looks a bit darker, and you have a time limit on how fast you can complete it. You got 15 minutes to complete this uber hard dungeon, and when I start utilizing my build, my shield is activated. My shield, when I hit critical strikes end up landing on an enemy, shocking them for 107 mil. I can use my Archon skills to create a dome. The dome around me slows enemies. My mana is infinite. I have increased movement speed. I can shoot out a beam or there's arcane energy. When I hit with arcane energy, it drops a meteor that does 200% of my damage, and then the hydras will end up doing, I don't know, 200, 500% of flame damage. The flame damage drops a meteor. The frozen orbs freeze and chills enemies. That slows them down. That drops an ice meteor. And then the thing just gets ridiculous out of control to where I basically just go into Archon form on some areas and just spam the square button, letting out a pulse of arcane energy, which that arcane energy would then drop a meteor. Then that meteor would then end up doing damage, which would end up activating some of my set bonuses. And then the affixes for all the enemies, they have chains, they have slow, they have duplicate, they have teleport, they have reflect. The things it just gets ridiculously crazy. So we're at the beginning of D4, and that isn't even what the end game is going to look like. And you want to bring this knowledge from the Eternal Realm into the Seasonal so that you can make your characters perform like this while wearing the flexible armor, having those pets, having those wings, having that tombstone, having those glowy gauntlets and boots, so that you can say, hey, I went in there, started over, did this, and now I look like this. When the next season comes out, I'm going to crush that too. All right, so I hope you guys did enjoy this show and tell of D3, the seasons of how the thing's going to go and what things have changed, and kind of why the loadout system hasn't really happened yet. But if you guys did enjoy the video, I see the feedback on this channel. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.